Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by mountains, there lived a 24-year-old young man named Marco. Marco was very restless. His mind was always full of thoughts that came and went all day long, leaving him uneasy and tired. He often felt sad about his past and worried a lot about his future. Because of these thoughts, his mind was like a storm. He couldn't feel calm, couldn't sleep well, and had even forgotten how to smile. One day, Marco heard about a faraway village in the hills. People said that a wise old man lived there, a man who had once been a famous psychologist in the city. He had helped many people find peace in their minds. Now, in his old age, he had left the busy city life and settled in a quiet village close to nature. Sometimes he gave advice to visitors who came seeking calm and wisdom. Marco became curious and hopeful. He decided that he must go and meet this wise old man. Maybe, he thought, this man can help me find peace. After many days of a long and tiring journey, Marco reached the village in the hills. He saw a small house covered with greenery. On the porch, the old man sat quietly, his eyes closed, his face calm and peaceful. Marco walked up to him and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is very restless. I cannot stop thinking. I want peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled gently. "So, you are looking for peace," he said. "Then come with me. I will give you a small task." He led Marco to his little yard and filled a glass with water, right up to the brim. The glass was so full that even a tiny shake would make the water spill. Then he handed it to Marco and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and come back. But remember, you must not spill even one drop of water." Marco looked surprised but wanted to do his best. He carefully held the glass and started walking. The road was narrow and busy. People were walking and running, shopkeepers were calling out to customers, and dogs were barking. But Marco didn't look around. His eyes stayed fixed on the glass. He walked slowly and carefully, step by step. People looked at him with curiosity but did not disturb him. They knew he was learning something important. Finally, Marco returned to the old man. "Grandfather," he said proudly, "I did it. I didn't spill even one drop of water." The old man nodded and smiled. Then he asked, "That's good. But tell me, did you see the children playing by the road? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco looked surprised. "No," he said. "I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focusing on the glass." The old man smiled again and said gently, "That is the secret. Something that was always inside you, but you didn't know. When your mind stays in the present moment, there is no space for fear, confusion, or extra thoughts. When you were thinking only about the water in the glass, your mind became completely quiet. You weren't sad about the past or afraid of the future." Slowly, Marco began to understand. This was the peace he had been searching for all along. Peace is not something we find outside. It is already inside us when we live in the present moment. Marco bowed his head and said softly, "Grandfather, now I understand. If I want to calm my mind, I must keep it in this moment. That is when real peace comes." The old man smiled once more. The sun was setting and the last golden light touched the ground. Birds flew back to their nests. Marco started walking home, but now he was no longer the same restless young man. He had changed. He was peaceful inside because now he knew how to see and still the mind.